sallallahu alayhi. Ya Ahmad, Ya Hamid, Ya Mahmud, Ya Qasim, Ya Aqib, Ya Fatih, Ya Khatib, Ya Amin, Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alayhi. Ya Hashir, Ya Mahin, Ya Da'in, Ya Siraj, Ya Rashid, Ya Munir, Ya Bashir, Ya Nadir, Ya Hadi, Ya Mahdi, Ya Rasul, Ya Nabi Allah, Ya Taha, Ya Yasin, Ya Muzammil, Ya Mudassir, Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alayhi. Ya Nasir, Ya Mansur, Ya Qayyim, Ya Hafiz Allah, Ya Shahid, Ya Adil, Ya Hakim, Ya Nur, Ya Shafi, Ya Khalil, Ya Kalim, Ya Habib, Ya Mustafa, Ya Murtada, Ya Mujtaba, Ya Mukhtar, Ya Hujar, Ya Burhan, Ya Abtar, Ya Mumin, Ya Mutti, Ya Muzakkir, Ya Wa'id, Ya Hamid. Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alayhi. Ya Hitami, Ya Hijazi, Ya Tarazi, Ya Quraishi, Ya Mudarri, Ya Ummi, Ya Aziz, Ya Hari, Ya Sadiq, Ya Musaddiq sallallahu alayhi. Ya Ahmad, Ya Hamid, Ya Mahmud, Ya Qasim, Ya Aqib, Ya Fatih, Ya Khatib, Ya Amin, Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alayhi. या हशीर या माहीन या दाइन या सिराज या रशीद या मुनीर या बशीर या नदीर या हादी या महदी या रसूल या नबी अल्लाह या तहा या यासीन या मुज़म्मिल या मुद्दसीर या मुहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम या मुहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि या नासीर या मंसूर या क़ईम या हफीज अल्लाह या शहीद या आदिल या हकीम या नूर या शफी या खलील या कलीम या हबीब या मुस्तफा या मुर्तदा या मुज्तबा या मुख्तार या हुजा या बुरहान या अबतार या मुमीन या मुत्ती या मुज़क्किर या वाईस या हमीद या मुहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
Welcome, everybody. My name is Saraya, and I am living in Chicago. And I would like to take this opportunity to just welcome you and give Mujib Petker, Inayet's brother, who is an attorney based in Johannesburg, an opportunity to lead us in prayer and to open this celebration of life for Inayet. As well as I will be given an opportunity later to really just set the tone of how this celebration of life will unfold for the rest of the hour. Welcome, Mujib.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Namaste, shalom, dumelang, kunjani, good evening, afternoon, and morning, wherever you may be on this beautiful earth. My name is Mujib Petker. I'm based in Johannesburg. I'm the younger brother of marhum, the late Inayet Petker, and my sister Fazilat Juwali, who is from Brisbane and currently with us in transit in Dubai. Thank you, Surya, for that introduction, that warm introduction. We spoke just a couple of hours ago, and please excuse any mistakes or errors. I wasn't prepared for this, but I will do my best. It's with great sadness, yet profound pleasure, that on behalf of the entire Petker family worldwide, to welcome each and every one of you to this memorial organized by the Landmark team to celebrate the life, achievements, and accolades of my brother Inayet. I do not wish to go back to the events of 10 days ago of his passing, as I will probably break down crying and won't be able to speak any further. So with a smile on my face and tears in my heart, I welcome each and every one of you from near and far. First and foremost, my elders, including our close family, aunties and uncles, Aziza Fupi from Bulawayo, my late dad's sister, Liaquat Kaka and Sakina Chichi in Harare in Zimbabwe, my late dad's brother and our aunt, Sharifa Kala, my late mum's sister in Vryheid in South Africa, and Seda Kala in Bulawayo, my wife's family from Pietermaritzburg and Durban, and my family with me right here in Johannesburg. Inayet's beautiful youngest daughter, Suraya, my beautiful cousin Zenit from Pretoria, my brother, my cousin Zakir, who has just flown in to be with us and arranged for all the family to get together. Zenit's husband, Imtiaz, based in Pretoria. His sister is with us from Birmingham. My son Zaidan, my wife Fatima, another angel of a cousin Shazia. Rehan, you can say hello.
Hello. Signal. Yeah.
And Humaira and Aman in the background. So I've got all that I can wish for, all of you out there and all my family over here. We have guests with us from all over the globe. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Loud and clear.
I'll carry on. We have guests with us from all over the globe, including many cities across the USA, Australia, India, the United Kingdom, Iran, India, Zimbabwe, and many other places. A special welcome to my brother's three angels, his beautiful daughters, my nieces, Hanan, based in Pretoria, Wasifa, who recently got married in Durban, and we were all together for that beautiful function, and his youngest daughter seated next to me, Suraya. Inayet raised his beautiful angels as a single dad in Durban. And today, when we look at the three of you, Alhamdulillah, we are so proud of you as we are of him. We will keep the three of you together with all the nasheeds and all his achievements and accolades close to our hearts. At this moment, it is only fitting that we thank Almighty Allah for this gathering and that we send Isali Sawab to Marhum Inayet Petker. And so if we could take just a few minutes to all read Yasin, we could inshallah complete a khatam for him over the next 4 to 5 minutes. And I'd like to call Zaidan to lead us, my son Zaidan, to lead us in the Yasin prayer.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yasin wal Qur'anil Hakim innaka laminal mursalin ala siratim mustaqim tanzilal azizir rahim litunzira qauman ma unzira aba'uhum fahum ghafilun laqad haqqal qawlu ala aktharihim fahum la yu'minun inna ja'alna fi a'naqihim aglalan fahiya ila al-aqani fahum muqmahun وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءهم المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين
قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم وإن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخلوا الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومي من بعد من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كما أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون
وإن كل لما جميع لدينا مهتدون وآية له الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وجعلنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما حملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلك من النهار فإذا هم مسلمون والشمس تجري مستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالأرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر والليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أننا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشاء نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقهم الله قال الذين كفروا الذين آمنوا أنفقوا ما لو شاء الله آدموا إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في السور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا مهتدون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين واعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أيديهم فاستكبروا الصراط فأنا يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسكناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن يؤمن نكسه في الخلق أفلا يأكلون وما علمناه كلا وما يعلم إلا هو الذكر القرآن مبين لينذر من كان يتوكل على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم مالكون وسللنا لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارع أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند مهتدون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم العليم قل يستهزئ عن الشر المولى وبكل خلق أليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون. Jazakallah everyone for that. May Allah accept and reward in abundance and grant our marhum Inayet Jannatul Firdaus, inshallah. I feel that we will probably need a whole day to go through the memoirs of my brother. He was certainly the most talented member of the Petker family. Very briefly, he was born in Bulawayo on the 1st of June, 1963. Yes, you calculated correctly. He was just 60 years old when he passed away. He grew up in Bulawayo singing praises of our noble prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at a young and tender age in madrasa and at all the Milad an-Nabi functions. Following high school, he departed to Washington, D.C. in the United States, where he took up hotel management. And I recall one of his outstanding achievements was that he worked at the famous Watergate Hotel. He also worked for the hop-on, hop-off Washington city buses, where he would give tourists an Indian out of Africa touch to the DC tours. My brother returned to Zimbabwe in the 1990s and took to the stage in both Zimbabwe and South Africa, singing Bollywood hits. At the same time, he began his journey with Landmark Worldwide. He ran some intervention programs in Harare, and I remember my mother participating in one of his programs. I attended the graduation day, which was mind-blowing. After many years of hard work and effort, he became a Landmark introduction leader, but more of Landmark just now. A few years thereafter, he settled in Pretoria, South Africa, and he took his voice to greater heights, cutting Islamic CDs and performing at every opportunity, singing praises of our noble prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For those of you who may not know, nasheeds, also called Islamic songs or chants, represent a distinctive form of vocal music. The primary focus lies in praising and exalting Almighty God and his noble prophet and messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the fundamental principles of Islam. The purpose of nasheeds is to inspire devotion, foster moral values, and create a sense of unity and love for the Islamic faith. He released approximately 25 Islamic CDs worldwide, and his YouTube channel recently hit 1.2 million views. Alhamdulillah, with all his praises and nasheeds, we are firm in our belief that he is an Ashiq-e-Rasul, a guest of our noble prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As my cousin Zakir from Bulawayo with me tonight wrote, he has sung his way to the heavens above, inshallah. We buried him on the 12th of Rabiul Awal, the birth date of our noble prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and with him we fondly remember our late uncle Fakhruddin Fupa, who also passed away on this auspicious date. His soul may have departed us, but his nasheeds are everlasting. On that note, I would like to call upon Inayet's youngest angel, Suraya, to give us a brief rendition of his famous nasheed of the 99 names which we heard in the opening of our noble prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Suraya.
Ya Ahmad, Ya Halim, Ya Mahmud, Ya Qasim, Ya Aqim, Ya Fatih, Ya Hadi, Ya Amin. يا محمد يا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم يا محمد يا محمد صلى الله عليه يا حشيم يا محيي يا هشيم يا مهين يا ذكي يا سراج يا رشيد يا منير يا بشير يا نذير يا هادي يا مهدي يا رسول يا نبي الله يا طه يا ياسين يا مزمل يا مدثر يا محمد يا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم يا محمد يا محمد صلى الله عليه
Mashallah, that was beautiful, Suraya. Beautiful. It just took us back to the other evening and all these recitations. Whilst running with the nasheeds, and as another example of his exponential talent, my brother released a captivating series of coloring books catering to children and adults. This groundbreaking initiative set him apart as the first nasheed artist to ever undertake such a creative endeavor, alhamdulillah. Through all this, at times we could not speak to him. We could not get hold of him in the evening South African time. And we wondered why was this. And the reason being that he was so busy connecting with his landmark team, evening this side and daytime your side. Landmark Worldwide is a personal and professional growth, training and development company focusing on people achieving success, transformation, fulfillment, and achieving greatness. With that, I would like to hand over to our esteemed Landmark guests and team, and I call upon Suraya Shepherd to continue with the program. Jazakallah.
Thank you, Mujib. Thank you, Inayet's beautiful angels, and thank you to Inayet's family for leading us into prayer and for really setting the tone for this amazing sharing of love and celebration of Inayet. I welcome you to the celebration of life for our beloved Inayet. We represent different continents, countries, and time zones, different faiths, cultures, and ethnicities, and yet we are all here now to honor and celebrate the extraordinary life of a truly extraordinary human being, Inayet. Inayet is loved by so many people that it was imperative that we create this convening. And this celebration of life for all of us to express our love, our gratitude, and share the difference Inayet has made for us and for the world. Inayet would be so moved by this global community brought together and united, not just because we all loved him, but because of what he had his life be in service of. Can you imagine how he's feeling right now? Over the next hour, we will get to hear from friends and thank you, the family, and people whose lives that were forever touched, including mine, by Inayet. And of course, we want to hear from as many of you as possible. But we also want to respect everyone's time, especially Inayet's family. So while we will officially complete at the end of the hour, we will also keep the room open for those who will still want to share. Now, please, in a moment, I'm going to ask those of you who do want to share about Inayet, please raise your virtual hand. I request that you please have your sharing stay inside 3 minutes so that we can hear from as many people as possible. Inayet would probably not have stayed inside of 3 minutes, but that's okay. And with that, I'm now going to ask you to raise your virtual hand. And Benny, who's managing the technical aspects of this convening, will unmute you. And Nava, who will be co-hosting with me, would also have support here. Thank you.
Thank
we
you,
go.
Soraya. We ask if you are able to please put yourself on camera. I know not everyone is able to for all kinds of streaming purposes, but if you are able to, you can hear Inayet say it right now. Put yourself on camera. We want to be with you. Thank you. Okay, Benny, who shall we hear from first?
Jackie and Soli.
Great.
Hi. Sure, I will keep it brief. Inayet was one of my coaches when I was in the Introduction Leaders program. And I say coach because he was self-appointed. Nobody asked him to, but he decided that he was going to take an interest in me and my successful completion of the program. And I recognized for myself what I have managed to achieve as an introduction leader was all inside of his commitment to make a difference in my life. And I think this will be the story that is echoed over and over again, was that Inayet for me was just somebody who really made it his business to make a difference. He made it his business to care, to show love, to be the passion, to be the drive behind the work that we do. So I am bereft, and yet at the same time, I am incredibly blessed to have had him as a part of my life. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may just chip in, I'm one of those people who actually had the privilege of coaching Inayet, not to be coached by him, but around this self-expression and leadership program, which we led in Africa 3 years ago. And the extraordinary energy and self-expression that Inayet was and brings forth in everything, from every time there was a flyer that needed to be put out, Inayet was onto it, whether it was a WhatsApp group that got formed and immediately 5 seconds afterwards, there was a profile pic embodying the WhatsApp group. That was Inayet. He was just, and I remember one of the things about his group was everybody got a name inside of who the possibility they were, and that's how they got known in the world, and he was their champion. And so it was, it's clear to me the embodiment of him and the fact that there are people from across the world participating in here today really shows that he was such a universal being and spirit that could transition regardless of culture, regardless of language, and just such a commitment to human beings showing up and people being fully self-expressed in the world. And I think the greatest gift we can all take on from that is to be living that kind of demonstration that he offered. So, thank you, and thank you everybody for being here.
Thank you, Jackie. Baha?
Thank you, Soraya. Hi, everyone. Good evening, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to Inayet's family and his friends. I represent myself personally and all the graduates of Landmark South Africa and all the graduates of Landmark Africa. Diggs, the source person of Landmark in Kenya, is unable to be with us. And so, firstly, our condolences to family and friends of Inayet. When we heard about the passing of Inayet, there were many messages that came flooding in on various WhatsApps. And so we've put together and we've compiled as best we could all the thoughts and feelings of the graduates of Landmark in Africa. And it's a privilege and an honor to deliver this to everybody. And I don't speak for everyone. There are many thoughts and feelings out there that we won't hear from, but Inayet is in our hearts, and I will try my best to convey what I can from our graduates. I also bring condolences from forum leaders, David Ura and Larry Pearson, and I am confident that they have contacted the family directly. You are in their prayers, their thoughts are with you right now. So I will read, and it will be brief, Soraya. I will aim to stay within the 3 minutes. And what our graduates wish to convey and remember regarding Inayet is that tonight we honor and celebrate a landmark graduate, a very dear landmark graduate, a brother, a friend. That was Inayet to us. The news of his passing has left us in shock, and some of us are struggling to comprehend the loss of such a passionate and good-hearted friend and leader in our education. Inayet was more than just a friend to many of us. He was a source of inspiration and an unwavering support to many that we don't even know of. His generosity knew no bounds, and his dedication and assisting of others was truly remarkable. Whether it was offering his commitment to being a listener during times when people were going through tough times, or leading us with grace, humility, even pomp and ceremony, Inayet touched the lives of everyone he encountered. He fought bravely, and he fought with each one of us for the possibility of the education in Africa and the possibility for human being in the world. His absence leaves a void, and memories of his lively, energetic, and loving ways of being will forever remain in our hearts. Inayet played a significant role in all our lives. He was coaching us, he was guiding us, he supported us, and he encouraged us to be extraordinary and the best versions of ourselves, and to live life passionately and powerfully. Those were Inayet's words. He's remembered for the profound impact that he has had on all of us, and his dedication to his work and his passion for sharing knowledge were truly remarkable. He was not only a leader in Landmark's education, but he was also a mentor to many. He coached many of us, and we are forever grateful to the Almighty for the wisdom and the guidance that he shared with us. So as we come to terms with his passing on, let us remember the promises that we made to him in our conversations with him. Let us honor his memory by ensuring that his work, like his many heart-rendering nasheeds, his books for adults and children, continue to inspire and educate us and others. We owe it to him to keep his legacy alive and to carry forward the torch of his passion, his kindness, his commitment, and his love for people.
Thank you.
Inayet, may your soul rest in eternal peace. Your memory will always be a guiding light for all of us, and your impact on our lives will never fade. We will remember the times you celebrated with us, you laughed with us, you fought with us, you stood for us, and we miss you dearly, and we will cherish the moments we shared together with you. And until we meet again, dear friend, may you find the same warmth and comfort in the heavens above as you brought to our lives here on earth. Thank you, Soraya.
Thank you. Millie Rasikola. Unmute, Millie.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. I'm just putting the light on because I'm in darkness at the moment. Please just give me a second. Okay. Wow. I'm actually just, I don't, yeah. Okay, let me just say one thing that is just so touching about Inayet. When he embarked on his book, he contacted me and he said, Billy, will you be my accountability partner in this? And I was just so humbled by it, because here's a master asking the student to be his accountability partner. And he sent me the first 3 chapters of his book, both the text and the audio. And I remember when we were discussing it, I said to him, you know, this book reminds me of my favorite book, which is called My Family and Other Animals by Gerald Durrell. And I remember he was just so chuffed that I compared his book to this old classic. But that's exactly what it was. It embodied who he was, his joy of life, his incredible ability to just put words together. For me, he's a wordsmith. And, you know, the last time I communicated with him was in August, when I was leaving South Africa to come to the UK, because my sister had passed away. And I remember he was, as usual, very loving, very caring. And I will really miss him, because I'll just miss him. And I just want to thank his family for giving us a gift like him for the time that he was in my life. He was just amazing to me. And all I can do to honor his memory is to just take a little bit of the lessons that he taught and be as passionate about life as he was. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Emily, are you based in Johannesburg? Oh, I can't hear you now.
Yes, I'm currently in England, but I'm based in Johannesburg. Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you. When you share, please let us know where you're coming from, which part of the world you're in. We are going to take a pause right now, and we are going to have Michael introduce his book, excerpts from his book, and then we'll come back to sharing. Michael.
Thank you. Thanks, Rhea. Millie, thank you also for bringing up the book, because it was perfectly timed. I'm going to tell you a bit of a story about when I was in Durban, the one time I actually met Inayet in person. And I'm in Durban, I'm at the beachfront in front of a tall building. And the power has been out for days in this building. People are scattering all over the place. It's a crowd. It's just like a big mess. And there's loaves of bread and water. The community is organized. And then out of this mess comes Inayet. I've known him online. That's him with the gray beard and that smile. You know? And he embraces me. It's the first time I've touched him. He's like actually a real human being, not just an image on the screen, you know. But our hug is interrupted by the guy at the bread area. Comes up to Inayet and starts telling him what's been happening with the people getting the bread. And then some other people are coming up and thanking him for helping organize these things and the water. And it turns out that he's been critical in this whole process of helping the community in this building, because they have had power out for days. And people thanking him for what he's done. So we finally pull ourselves away from this group and we start going up to Inayet's flat, and we're carrying these jugs of water, and they're really heavy, and we're going up the steps. And you know, Inayet was had done it 3 or 4 times that day, so he was actually kind of like really struggling to get up there, you know. But we finally proud of him, been telling us all about for all this time. And he showed me the flat. He introduced me to the two daughters that lived in it with him. And then he showed me his desk where he was writing his memoir. He was writing it at the time. And in the middle of all this mess with no power and everything else, he was writing every day this book, staring out that window onto the ocean. And this is the home that he had finally made for himself after all these years. And the book is about him traveling the world and coming home. And this is the place that he finally had found the space to sit down and get the book done every day without fail, like Millie was talking about. And he told me it was the happiest he'd ever been in his entire life. Now, I'd only known Inayet for a few years at this point, but I think I'd come to the conclusion that every day was the happiest day of Inayet's life. You know, I met him on the Introduction Leaders program like 3 years ago. We became buddies in the IL body. We spoke every week for the past couple of years. But what amazes me looking back now is how brief the time actually was that I knew Inayet, because it feels like I knew Inayet forever. Raise your hand if you feel like you knew Inayet a lot longer than you did. Now, I have a feeling that the reason that we all feel, or many of us feel like we knew him so well, is because we did. Because he shared himself completely, without restraint, every time. We actually knew Inayet, right? And he said what he meant, and he meant what he said, and almost always what he said was empowering and enrolling. And the rare occasions that his communication was not as empowering as it usually was, were usually the result of his intentions to be empowering being thwarted. And because he wanted to empower people so much that when something got in the way of it, he could get kind of irritated. He empowered people as the person accountable for the Introduction Leader body. He empowered people, as we've already heard, as a coach in the Introduction Leaders program, where he ended up coaching like everybody in the program, right? He empowered people as a seminar leader. People registered into his seminar in droves. He built communities inside a landmark, outside a landmark. But how he really distinctly empowered us all is with his self-expression. He expressed himself not just through his work in Landmark, but through all of his work, his wisdom, his heart, and of course, his music. That lovely voice we've heard this evening, that same voice he used to sing happy birthday to some people, like that same voice that he would welcome us into the virtual room. He gave not only of himself, but of his spirit. An Indian out of Africa, the book that he's written, is the culmination of his self-expression. He wanted to write a lot more books. He intended to write more. This is the one he achieved, and he achieved it in a very short time. He was a walking example, and I was a full-blown self-expression. You talk about Landmark full-blown self-expression, that was Inayet, and how self-expression can actually be a form of empowering other people. You know, in Landmark, you know that we learn that telling your own story, speaking your own truth, sharing, myself, can be the most effective way to empower others. And Inayet mastered this. He mastered storytelling. He mastered using his own voice and his own words to listen. He mastered using his own words as a form of listening. And I think that's why people love him so much, because they felt heard. His nasheeds became coloring books, which you're going to hear about just now. And these songs took him around the world and gave him the foundation for this memoir, India out of Africa, which we're about to share with you. Because Inayet was profoundly committed to the transformation of this continent, and his commitment lives on not just in all of us, but in this book. He was completely devoted to this book. He studied online courses on YouTube and stuff about how to write a memoir, how to publish a book. He got his own ISBN number. He built an Amazon presence. He did it all himself with some assistance from his daughters. And every time he finished the chapter, he would read it aloud, record it, and send it to some of us. I don't know how many people received these, but people received his work, and thank goodness, right? Because his entire book now exists, not just on his computer, but in his own voice. And he didn't send it to us for feedback. He was too busy writing to get feedback, right? He was writing at top speed. He wrote the whole thing in 2 months. He just wanted to get it out to us so people knew he was doing it. And when we thought about which part of the book to share with you today, we did struggle a bit because there's 32 chapters, right? And there's 3 different endings. And he is fully there on every page. But we decided to begin with the beginning. Makes sense, right? Because once you hear the beginning, you're going to want to hear or read the rest of the book. and you're going to want to share it with other people too. And I don't know how it's going to happen yet, but I'm sure all of us here want to see this book out there for everybody else to experience. You know, we'll be in touch with everybody. We can figure out how to do it. But really, the reason I want you to listen carefully now is because this book explains how Inayet became the person we're hearing about. It explains the story. This book is Inayet sharing, and it does not end now. He intended this book to inspire you. He intended this book to share his life to empower your life. So please, as you listen, imagine you're sitting there at that desk with Inayet, looking out at the ocean, as he writes this book and reads it in the same space and records it for us to hear. I spent 3 hours with him there, looking out over the ocean with him, and he was so happy. Because I think writing this book for him, sitting there out their window with his daughters living there with, all of it was just what he had done for his whole life had come to fruition. So please imagine the sea, imagine Inayet sitting there, and let this short opening inspire you to see how you can take action to inspire others. Thank you, Inayet. Benny?
Indian out of Africa, Chapter 1. Shackles off my feet. I had a farm in Africa. I woke up in granite hills overlooking a valley and river under the golden African sun. Hold on, you're not in the wrong book. I'm just ahead of myself. That part comes later. After I live in America. It was spring on that Wednesday at 10 a.m. when I entered Galaxy Travel. I was going to Europe to find a place to study hotel restaurant management. I walked through the double glass doors reflecting jacaranda blossoms and headed directly to Sam, the agent. "Hello, Mr. Petker, it's so good to see you," she said, warmly looking up. "Are you ready to confirm your tickets to Europe?" "Hello, Sam, thank you. Yes, I am," I replied with a smile. As she punched into a computer in front of her, my eyes were called to the huge world map that sprawled the wall behind her. I studied each of the places I would be visiting with a family friend. Then my eyes went across the Atlantic Ocean and everything changed. As I looked at New York, the United States seemed to reach out and call me. I fell in love with the United States when I studied geography. An unimaginable force of 50 states and developed cities, working together in one cause. It totally excited me. I looked across to Los Angeles, and then again at New York. I imagined flying between these coasts. I thought of the hit song by Patsy Gallant, From LA to New York, and smiled. I looked back at the map, this time at Europe and England. I thought about the colonial rule that I hated growing up into. Then I looked at Africa and thought of the aftermath and the impact of colonialism on Africa, our dreams, our people. I remembered how many times I was not white enough in colonial Rhodesia. We had just transitioned into Zimbabwe. Affirmative action was in place. I lost a scholarship to study hotel restaurant management in Düsseldorf, Germany. Affirmative action meant the scholarship had to be awarded to a black Zimbabwean. It left an unsettling seed deep in my soul. I asked, will I ever be enough? Am I not a citizen? Were Indians not marginalized too? These questions stirred emotions deep inside me. Do I really want to study in London? I thought. What about going to America? I began to wonder. I took another deep breath. Then I remembered these words. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And then I had that moment that we all have when we're about to make a life-altering decision. We think from our gut. It's also known as our voice of wisdom. I'm done with colonialism, unfair rules, and feeling like a second-class citizen. I will get a visa and go to the USA, a country with similar tribulations to ours, but ahead in growth and development. I will get accepted into an American university. I'll gain work experience, and I'll come back home to Africa and make a difference.
So that is just a very brief piece of the book, and actually just heard from the family that the book is en route to actual publication. So we will be seeing this in print form and hopefully audiobook soon. And I think anybody who's here will definitely get a notification of that. So thank you for letting us know that. And I think we can all agree that just hearing that little bit makes us want to hear or read the rest, I imagine. So Soraya, do you want to take us to the next book?
Thank you very much, Michael. That was absolutely wonderful. I would like to introduce Mohammed Suleiman. He was working on a project also with Inayet. And Benny, please unmute Mohammed.
Thank you for the opportunity, Soraya. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead. Where are you calling from?
Hello, my love goes to all of you. Pardon with me, I have a weak internet. So, Inayet, thank you. God bless the family of Inayet. God bless this man for his commitment. So, I'm calling from Ghana, West Africa. And Inayet has been my friend since I did the SELP. We started a project together on his Nasheed book and for his commitment for Africa and just for the children. For my school, he made a special book just for our school that I posted on the link on the WhatsApp page. A week before I heard Inayet has passed away, we were in communication about funding the project. He had me find a local printer here in my country. Inayet wanted to see the school children of my school color his Nasheed coloring book. Unfortunately, I didn't hear the good news. This is what Inayet wanted me to do for our school kids. We have 127 children, and Inayet wants the kids to color his books. We are going to honor Inayet by making sure the books are printed here and colored by the children. Soraya, if you allow me, Michael and the whole family,
Unmute yourself, Mohammed.
Soraya, we've lost Mohammed's.
We lost Mohammed.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll pick up again when he's able to reconnect. Right now, we're going to go back into sharing. If anyone else would like to share, please raise your hands. Oh, Mohammed is back. Mohammed? No. Okay. Sorry about that. We are opening up the floor to Elizabeth. Welcome, Elizabeth. Tell us where you're calling from.
Thank you so much, Soraya. Nice to see you. I'm calling from the Rift Valley of Kenya in a town called Nakuru, the home of the pink flamingos. That's how I used to introduce myself to Inayet. So very quickly, I just wanted to share, like Michael said, I felt as if I've known Inayet all my life. Literally like we were in high school together, but in reality, I met Inayet during the SELP that was recently held in Africa. And I believe when we met, I was so enthralled by his vibrancy and his enthusiasm. And especially when he would address me as Dr. E in that sing-song voice, which we heard, that beautiful voice that we heard a little earlier. And this was a name I actually inquired when I was in the Introduction Leaders program. And what really struck me about Inayet was that he addressed you like you're someone so special, you know, in his life, like you mattered. You're someone that mattered. And although I never met him in person, I felt that I really mattered to him every time we engaged. Much later, a couple of years back, we did the communication seminar together at some ungodly hour to me. That was between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. because the course was actually being run on California time, which means I literally had to stay up all night to be in the program. But Inayet, again, kept encouraging me just to stick there, to hang in there, so that I could really get what the program offered. And that's where I really found my voice. And he later insisted that I join the Effective Invitations TCP group, which was established by Hari, a leader in India, for graduates of the communications seminar. And this was to help us graduates to continue building our strength using the distinctions of the communication seminar. And of late, I talked myself out of attending that program because it was at 5 a.m. East Africa time. And for me, that was too early. But in honor of what Inayet stood for, I will rejoin the group and continue practicing the distinctions. But my most recent conversation with Inayet was when I shared with him that I've been thinking for the last 15 years of doing a PhD program, but I think I'm too old and too tired to do it. And Inayet said, there's no such thing. I'm going to be your committed listener, and we shall have you do this PhD. And we actually created a program. And the last conversation I had with him was, imagine that you're celebrating that you have that PhD and you're at the party. What date would that be? And he made me actually choose a date, a couple of years from now. And then he said, now that you've got the date of your celebration, we're going to work backwards so that you can actually have a date for when you're going to start this. And I want you to tell me at the end of every month what actions that you've taken. And I was actually going to give him an update this week when I saw the shocking news. And I thought I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw the news of his passing. And I was so numb at the beginning when I got that news that I just couldn't react. And then I heard, you know, when I was doing my morning devotions, a song that says, how deep the Father's love for us. And it's a Christian song, but it just reminded me so much of Inayet. And that's when I just let go, and I couldn't stop crying the whole day when I just thought about this special friend that had gone to be with the Almighty. But then I also heard his voice again saying, Dr. E, I want you to go on. And so as I celebrate with others here, I can just hear Inayet, you know, encouraging me to just continue to achieve my heart's desire. And even though he's not physically with us, I can still hear that voice encouraging me. And I was really touched when he shared about his daughter's upcoming wedding. And I asked him, please, Inayet, if you can, just share one picture so that I can get a sense of what you are, you know, who you are for your daughter. And he shared that. And the way he was dancing in that video is something that I will always keep in my heart, that who Inayet was. He lived in the now. He was here now. So I say, rest in peace with the Almighty, my beloved friend, and may the Almighty comfort the family as they deal with the separation. Thank you.
Dr. E, thank you so very much, Nava.
Thank you, Soraya. Thank you. So as you all could see, Mohammed got cut off, and a fund has been opened for you, for anyone to contribute to getting these coloring books to the children. And Benny, would you please put in the link, please put the link in the chat so that everyone can contribute. Okay, great. I see that. All right, so you just click on that link, and you, the money for that fund is, let's get the books to those children. Okay, well, I didn't get to introduce myself. My name is Nava Cooper. I lead seminars for Landmark Worldwide. And I had the luck and fortune. Oh, by the way, we're in Northern California. Benny Cooper, who has been managing the technical, the space of this event, is my husband. We had the fortune of meeting Inayet in a seminar. He was a participant in a seminar that I was leading. And he stayed on after the first session and wanted to talk to me and wanted to create what was possible and uniting Africa and the United States together in North America. And I was just like, who is this person? His spirit just came through. And that was the beginning of a close, important friendship. Inayet and I spoke all the time, sometimes daily. And as he was, choosing to lead seminars, he had asked me if I would coach him. And, officially, I couldn't do it. I was the city coach out of the Los Angeles Center, and Inayet is there in South Africa. And so we took it upon ourselves to have an unofficial coaching, not coaching. Okay, so there may be something to restore as far as integrity goes, but he would call me and he'd lead, and and I would listen, and we would go back and forth. But is something being distinguished tonight? Or are you just talking about something? Oh, we had the best time. And in a moment, we're going to play something for you that we cut together, because it was really our dream at some point that Inayet and I would be able to lead a seminar together. This was his vision. North America, Africa, coming together to lead together, to bring in Europe, Australia, the whole world. Inayet's dream was to have a seminar that had the whole world in it. And one thing about coaching, not coaching him, was he really didn't need me at all. What Inayet had, you can't teach. It comes from God. Just last year, my father passed away suddenly, almost exactly the way that it happened with Inayet. And Inayet was there for me as such a dear friend. And I'll never forget the comfort and love that he gave. And I want to extend that back to Inayet's family. He was so proud of his family and his daughters. And it's really a privilege to be with you now. All right, well, we're going to play something for you, and I want to rest assured, you're only going to see me in the beginning, and then I'm going to go and we're going to have Inayet lead us in the distinction being complete. Benny, would you please?
Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome back. Can you put your camera on? It will be so awesome to be able to see you. Welcome back. Wow.
Powerful completions always open up the next space of possibility. Inayet, would you say that again?
Powerful completions always open up the next space of possibility. As we complete this session, we will be also addressing life. We'll address what there is to create and what there is to practice.
Inayet, we are out to fully practice in life the way you have inspired us to do so. And then there's something about celebration, yes?
This session is also a celebration. Celebrating who we have been. Celebrating what we've accomplished. We're celebrating the struggles. We're celebrating the breakdowns, the breakthroughs, and the ground taken in the world of possibility.
The intention of this conversation is
to leave you whole, complete, and responsible
for participating full out in life like you did, Inayet. But here we are, and what do we got?
Well, in one sense, what you've gotten is nothing.
And from nothing, you can create anything.
There we go. End of story. Completion and breakthroughs are intimately related. I'll say that again. Completion and breakthroughs are intimately related. Completion creates a space, or more rigorously, an emptiness, in which a new possibility for the future can be created. Like in nature, the cycle of breakthrough goes from creation to action, to completion, to the next creation. On the other hand, being incomplete limits what is possible. Incompletion fills up your space and leaves you unable to be fully in life. People who are committed to possibility and breakthroughs orient themselves around completion. When you're complete, nothing is missing. I don't mean things are finished. You could be finished with something and not be complete. And you can be complete with something whether you are finished or not.
Inayet, where does being complete exist?
Like all possibilities, being complete lives in a conversation. I create the possibility of being complete when I can authentically listen and speak that I am complete. Being complete begins with giving up that there is something wrong with the way it is. When you give up the interpretation that life shouldn't be the way it is, you can then be responsible for the way it is and the way it isn't. You cannot be complete until you can be responsible for the way it is and the way it isn't. I'll say that again. You cannot be complete until you can be responsible for the way it is and the way it isn't. What is left now for you is to take the opportunity to declare it. I don't mean agree with it, I don't mean believe it or even conclude it. I mean actually declaring, complete as a matter of your word. I will give you a moment each to create for yourself your declaration of completion.
Inayet, I am complete.
I am complete.
I am complete.
I am complete. And what can you declare in terms of the fun that you had created in playing this game?
We sure had fun.
So bring your breakdowns and your upsets too. We gon' cause transformation for you. Come on now.
Celebration, celebrate.
Wow. Okay. I am complete. I am complete. I thank you, I honor you, and I love you. Good night.
Good night, Inayet. We love you too. Rhea?
I'll try.
Okay. You're doing great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Melissa has had her hand up this whole time. Melissa.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm in Oregon in the US, and that was such a beautiful to hear his voice and so beautiful. And my deepest condolences to his daughters and his brother and family. Let's see, so I didn't know Inayet very long, just since February of this last year, so not even quite a year. But I was in Kenya this summer working on some projects at a children's home, and I got to have some really good conversations with Inayet about what we could do to unite the whole world. And so I just felt, I cried for a couple hours the other day and today, just feeling like there's so much possibility. And now I think the possibility is still there to do it, but just wanted to say how much he just loved the whole world, and that is such a beautiful gift to find in somebody. And so again, my deepest condolences to his family and to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are at the top, past the top of our hour. And as we said earlier, we will give you an opportunity to continue to stay in the room and to continue to share, but to be responsible for the family. Inayet's brother would like to conclude this part of our celebration of his life in prayer. Thank you. Mujib.
Thank you so much, everybody. This was absolutely beautiful, memorable, and more. I've got Inayet's other daughter, Hanan, who's seated on my side. She arrived a bit late. Michael, I'm not sure which of the girls you met in Durban. Might have been Suraya and Wasifa, but his three girls. Wasifa is based in Durban. Hanan is in Pretoria, and Suraya is with us currently. And Suraya remembered meeting you. She remembered you going up to the flat, and when you mentioned the opening of the book, she actually said to me the jacarandas. So they really fondly remember you, and hopefully you'll keep that connection with these girls going forwards. And who knows, maybe Nava will be training Suraya or Hanan in the future, and we'll hear something about them being complete. I hope I said that correctly. Just to conclude with a prayer, I'd like to. It's fitting that we send our respects and our salutations to the Almighty, and to our Prophet, our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'd like to call a friend of mine. I hope he's on. He joined on recently. Is Hafiz Ibrahim Lambat. Just to give a closing prayer as I move around. We've got family from Cape Town. we've got who are online that have joined us, and we've got my cousin Shamima and her husband Mohammed. They've also joined us this evening, and Feroz. Don't know if you can see them. But just to end off, Ibrahim, are you there? If you could please give a closing dua.
اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وذكرنا وأنسانا اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيي على الإسلام ومن توفيته منا فتوفه على الإيمان اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وسكنهم في الجنة اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وروحهم في الجنة اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وأكرمهم في الجنة اللهم لا تحرمنا أجره ولا تفتنا بعضه واغفر له وله اللهم اغفر لمرحومين اللهم اجعل قبرة روضة من رواء الجنة اللهم اجعل قبرة روضة من رواء الجنة اللهم اغفر لمرحومين اللهم اغفر لي وارحمني اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم وأكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم وغسلهم بالماء والبرد ونقهم من الخطايا كما يلقى الأبيض من الدنس اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من أن يتخبطني الشيطان عند الموت اللهم بارك لنا في موت وفيما بعد الموت اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من عذاب القبر اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من سخطك وغضبك والنار ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم اللهم اجرني في مصيبتي واخلفني خيرا منها حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير أصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تقلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين بفضل سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Jazakallah, Suraya. You can take
Jazakallah.
over and conclude.
Thank you. Thank you. So thank you everybody for all that you brought to this incredible celebration of Inayet. I moved, and this concludes our event. And yes, you can continue to share, and you can stay on as long as you'd like. The room is open. I would like to start by sharing with you how I met Inayet. I am South African living in Chicago. I've been a graduate since 1987. Landmark's given me more than my life in so many ways. Many things have happened, but this is about Inayet and how I met him. Thank you, Michael, for introducing me to Inayet. What a gift. When I first sat in a room with Inayet leading an introduction, I was blown away. There were many people I shared the Landmark Forum with. Many said no, but when they came into an introduction with Inayet, they registered. And I knew I found my partner on the ground. And he was instrumental in including me on all the goings on of Landmark Cape Town, Landmark Africa. He was not going to let me be left out. He wanted me right there by his side to continue to grow the African community and the world at large. And so I had the distinct privilege of being a coach on the self-expression and leadership program. And beyond that, I made a promise to him, I'm going to write my book. And after today and listening to him, Inayet, if you're listening, I will start writing today. He said he'd be my committed listener, and I get that he is going to be my committed listener now, and I will complete that book. And I am so grateful to be a part of this incredible celebration. I want to thank Nava, Benny, Michael, and all of you, and Heidi, and everybody that contributed to this incredible moment. We will have a recording. We will share it with the family, and we will share it with the center. And yes, please stay on and continue to share. Thank you. Who would like to share?
Oh, Soraya, as we're taking shares, Benny, again, would you put the fund, right, the link to the fund again into the chat? Everyone, here's what we're going to do. We're going to raise the money to release, to make sure that all the children have this coloring book, and then any dollar after that is going to scholarship, people to do the forum in Africa. And Inayet and I did this once before, and people did the forum all over Africa who would not have been able to pay for that. And it was an extraordinary thing that we did right after my father died in honor of my father. And we just know that Inayet, this would just be his self-expression. Okay, so every dollar that you put in there, first, it's going to fund these books for the children. And after that, it is for the expansion of transformation on the continent of Africa. Inayet, that's for you.
And Nava, just want to add to what you're saying. Just to add to what you're saying, you were on that side gathering those donations, and I was on this side watching Inayet help disperse those contributions for the forum. And I can tell you that his passion to get those to people that could not afford to do the forum but were able to do it because of those donations are immense. So I personally just want to make an appeal to every single person on this call. If it's 100 Rand or $5, wherever your currency is, whatever it is, don't leave tonight without putting something in there, just something, even if it's 100 Rand or 100,000, whatever.
By the way, that was Rand, not grand, just in case for the, okay, just.
Or grand, or 100 grand, but really, take the action, right? Because we all know that nothing happens from just words. Take the action, take a moment and put that, we will appreciate it, and not his memory will appreciate it, and it will be in his memory. So thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, please raise your virtual hand if you want to share.
Lee?
Hello, everyone. My name is Ali, and I am a client for Inayet for a year. He was my coach for a year, and as you can see, I cannot speak English very fluently, but Inayet patiently had a companionship with me, and we embarked a coaching journey together. And you cannot imagine how he brought in my life the light in different ways. And I celebrate times who I was with him. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Ali. And where are you calling from, Ali?
From Iran.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Barika?
Saria.
Hi, everyone. My name is Farika Poole, and I am in Florida in the US. I first met Inayet when I was actually living in Uganda and participating in the landmark in Africa. And this has been a beautiful celebration of life. When I heard that he had passed, I was shocked. I was driving, I was crying, I had to, gather myself. And, he embodied what we say is that when you step into the room shifts. And we're all going to miss that. We've all felt his impact, and he's really created the ripple effect that will be felt for generations around the world. And he was a beautiful soul. Thank you.
Thank you, Barika. German?
Hi, my name is Herman Monroy. I'm calling from Portland, Oregon, but I may as well be calling from Colombia because I'm from Colombia. And I cannot believe the luck that I have this South African friend, because that's what I can call him, and I haven't even met him. And I resonated with everything that everybody has said today. It's the same Inayet I know. And I just wanted to bring up something that Inayet does, which is to let himself be inspired by you. He's not only inspiring, as everybody has said, but having the experience of inspiring Inayet is a highlight of my life. And that's, I think, one of the reasons I see him as a role model. And I want to live a life like his, an intense life, yeah, a life that can touch so many people, that, as you have described, is so happy. And to use one of the words that I heard from him that I think he liked, life that's delish. And it was delish. It's been delish. And also the topic of completion, that's exactly what we were talking about in the seminar that we were doing with him. Yeah. And I think that was a very eloquent way for Inayet to inspire us also with completion. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, German. Thank you. Victor? Victor?
Can you hear me?
There you go, Victor. We got you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay. I was in a group with Nava, and at the beginning of the class, they were selecting group
Hold on,
leaders.
Victor, one moment. Let's just give Benny a chance to mute everyone else because we're getting feedback.
I think it's coming from Victor's line, actually. There's some feedback happening on.
I'm driving. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
We're getting a little bit of background noise. If you please pull over if you're able to.
I'm with a group of people. So,
okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's give it a try.
I happened to be in a seminar with Nava about a year ago. I think it was your last seminar, Nava. And you had suggested I be his leader, but I told you I was interested in staying with Inayet. And since that seminar, he's been our group leader, and even during the hiatus, we used to get together every 2 weeks on a call from South Africa. And he had this grace and patience and gentleness with energy that was amazing. As he used to say in his emails, awesome. And I'm going to miss him greatly. And we'll remember him in all the seminars that we will continue to do. Thank you very much. I love you at night.
You, Victor.
Okay. Anyone else want to
Okay.
share? You're welcome to share a memory. You're welcome to have a vivid share. We're going to keep the room open. And if there is no one, then okay, great. Hello.
Yumna. Unmute yourself.
There you go. Thank you.
There you go.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes.
Hello.
And yes,
Hello
Yumna,
there.
tell us where you're calling from.
Hi everyone. I'm calling from Cape Town, South Africa, and it's just so unbelievable to believe, for me to still fathom that Inayet, such a force of life, is no longer. He was so full of life, and I was looking at the places, and I can imagine Inayet like, come on, guys. I used to do this thing where you like lights on, right? Like everybody just like catch a wake up and just be in the celebration. So I was really just present to his life and like really missing just getting like random voice notes from Inayet in a very Cape colored accent that would always completely crack me up. And I was just always privileged to just the bigness of how he listened to me and saw me, which was always so inspiring, because I could always see and speak to me bigger than what I see myself. And he always, I is one person that can inspire a group of South Africans to wake up at 3:30 to be in a seminar in LA, and just be there and be transformed. I will forever be grateful for Inayet, for the lessons, for sharing, for involving me in his life, and introducing me to Nava, and being able to share in those seminars and just sharing his life. And that's what inspired me about Inayet. He like always just made nothing wrong, and he was always just so great and graceful. And with his daughter's wedding, he had sent me all the videos. And I said to him, Inayet, when Soraya gets married, I want to be invited because I want to be in that Bollywood wedding. Like, I've just got to experience it. And it was like, yes. And so it was such a shock for me to like just know that he is no more. But I'm so convinced that he's here looking down and just still so part I can hear him. And that we can celebrate with all of us. And so I thank you for creating the space, and to his family and to all his friends and to all of us. May the Almighty place peace in our hearts, and may we always celebrate his life, and may we always be inspired by what Inayet has been living his life. And he used to say, when I die, I want to be fully used up. And I think that Inayet is used up. I'm sure he thinks he's probably had more to give, and we all feel that way. But it's just been an honor and a privilege having had him. And I would have loved to meet him in person, as Michael had the privilege, and to actually hug him in life. But even without that, I just feel that I just made the biggest impact. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Yumna. Thank you. Heidi.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak. I was in complete disbelief when I heard the news. I was in just complete shock and I cried that whole evening. I was going through a lot of stuff, emotional, a lot of things, and Inayet gave me a call every day for like a month until I told him, Inayet, I'm okay now. And he's belief that me coming back to Landmark could help me get back to me was his way of saying, I see you, you flourish when you're in that space. Come back, we miss you, we love you. He sang me a song, but I don't know if I play it, if you'll hear it. I want to share my song.
I miss you, I miss you. There's no other way to say it, and I can't deny it. I miss you, I miss you. It's driving me crazy, 'cause we miss your bubbles. Come be a part of our team. And this is a personal invitation just for you. I want you to bring your breakdowns and your upsets all to my seminar. Please, I love you. Bye.
Yeah, can you just imagine going through something and then he calls you and he sings every day because he cares and he made a commitment to show up and be there. So I miss my friend, and I send my love to his family and to all of you here today. Thank you for being here today and share.
We froze, Heidi.
Saray, I see that Wasifa has her hand up.
Yes, Wasifa.
Great.
Hello, everyone. I'm Wasifa. I am Inayet's middle daughter. This is my husband, Mohammed. We just got married 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I just wanted to say that this evening has just been so beautiful. Everyone's sharings have really touched our hearts. And it's just been so beautiful. The video that you guys have created, it's something I thought like, I need to see that before I go to bed every night. It was so beautiful. And thank you all for the impacts that you all have had on his life. Family, the Landmark community, it's just been so beautiful. You know, seeing him come out of his room with his 4 a.m. crew, and he's like, what's so? I'm sure you guys know. Dr. E, I remember your name. Heidi, I remember your name. Surya, Nava, Benny, all of you. And to those who I haven't mentioned, my apologies. But you guys were his family. You were his virtual family. And Michael as well, you guys had such an important role in his life. You know, as loving as the Petker family is, he was fortunate enough to have all of you, and it really meant so much to us to hear from you, because there's stories that we've heard from him about you guys and similar experiences that, you know, match up, and then there's things that we don't even know, and it's so beautiful to hear. So this is me saying thank you on behalf of myself and my family for this beautiful event that you guys put together. We really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much.
It was an honor. It is our privilege. It is our honor, and it's a gift that he gave us to be able to get to know all of you. And on behalf of our team, Landmark Worldwide, me personally, my family, thank you for the gift of Inayet. We've all been moved, touched, and inspired by you, everybody who shared today, and we hope we will continue to grow the light that he put out there. Really, thank you. Really, Osifa, thank you. Oh, anything your husband would like to say? You're on mute.
I think Wasifa summed it all up. Yeah.
Thank you. Olu.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Olo
Hello.
Ochieng. I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. So I'm an introduction leader, and I was coaching with Inayet in the last introduction leaders program that was last year, together with Daphne, Barika, Susie. And what I remember is his generosity, his love, his compassion. Yeah, for example, if any coach was not available, Inayet was available to step in. He was coaching everyone, holding home parties. So I remember him for his generosity, his commitment, and his love for human beings. Thank you.
Thank you, Olu. Mohammed Sulemana.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Mohammed Sulemana. I'm from Ghana, West Africa. I was given a chance earlier on, but the internet wasn't so good. I'm the one that Inayet started his book coloring project with my kids. I'd like to say a big thank you to Inayet's family for still allowing me to continue to honor him by making sure these books get to the kids, and we host a whole day to color the books. Thank you so much. And thank everybody.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you. And thank you for the wonderful work you're doing with children. You started with a small group of how many, Mohammed?
I started with 4 children. Today I have 127.
MashaAllah.
Awesome.
Thank you. Advocate Petker.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Wa alaikum salam. Yes.
Inayet Bai was a very good man. He loved his nasheeds, very well known for his nasheeds and nuts and so on. So I remember when he came down to Bulawayo, he used to sing quite a lot of nasheeds, for during the time that his father passed away. So I was also had the privilege of being in Inayet Bai's company, also singing a few nuts. So because he loved nuts and nasheeds, I just want to recite a few lines.
Go ahead.
Ya wajih dini wal karami wa halifal ilmi wal hikami nabiyun nabi Nabi, 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 Ya Rasulallah, Salamun alaik, Ya Rafi'a Shani wa Daraji Rasulun 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 Rasul Rasulun 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 Rasul. Thank you, everybody. Let's pray for Inayet that
Thank you.
goes to heaven.
Thank you. Thank you. Dudley Garner.
Thank you, Soraya. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You know, somebody said earlier tonight that, you know, when Inayet was in the room, then candidates registered on the landmark, and so did I. He was the one that phoned me as a duty, and that voice, I will never forget that moment. I was so curious. Who is this? Where is he from? And turned out this eloquent man is from Durban, just down the road from me. I'm from Durban too. And he became my coach, my mentor, inspired me greatly. And what's happening in my life right now is a direct result of his input. I wish I could actually tell him about all of this. We met once, and we walked a promenade at the beachfront. And we had coffee and we talked for hours. We talked for many more hours on you know, the internet during coaching sessions and courses and all of that. He was a good man. He was a joyous man. He lived life to the full, but what hasn't been said about him was his courage. He was a courageous man. He would broach topics that nobody else would dare. And he would go deeper, delve deeper than nobody else would think of. So I will always remember him fondly. I will always regard him with the highest respect. And I will miss him. I will miss him a lot. He had a big impact on my life. And, you know, this is coming from you know, the offspring of the colonialists. He loved everyone, even me. He loved me more than anybody else. That's what it feels like to me. So rest in peace, Inayet. I am heartbroken that we lost you so soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dudley.
Soraya, I was just thinking, did we all have the experience that he loved us the most? What a legacy. What a legacy.
Yes.
Well, while we wait for another thing, I'm just going to remind people one last time, if you have not for any reason contributed to the fund we're beginning for in memory of Inayet, both to send these coloring books to the children that deserve them, but also to help get people into the forum who can't afford it. Please don't leave here without doing that. Don't leave here without taking some action and go home later and say, you were part of this wonderful thing, but you didn't do anything. Please do something. Again, if you only have 100 Rand, not grand, put it in. You know? If you have 1,000, put that in. But whatever you can do, but please do something. We'll be grateful, and I'm sure Inayet, his family, and whoever gets the benefit of this stuff will be very grateful. So thank you. Please do that. Thank you. Drea?
Okay, I don't see any more hands raised. Sorry,
Actually, Soraya,
Yes.
I don't think Benny's had a chance to say something, and
Okay, Benny.
Well, Inayet, my man, I've never met a soul on this planet that embodied pure self-expression, like just wild, unabashed sharing like you. And the world's a little duller now that you're not walking the planet. But man, we're here to keep that spirit alive, and we love you. And thank you for who you are and who you continue to be for all of us. And that voice just rings out so clearly. And in fact, you know what I want to do? I'm going to unmute everybody, and I want to hear all of our voices together. Let's raise it up for Inayet. We love you together. Let's hear it.
We love you.
We love you.
Love you,
Inayet.
Oh my
We
God.
love you.
Bless you.
We love you. Thank you.
We love
Thank you for everything.
We love you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We love you.
We love you.
Bye.
Next week, when I worry you.
Bye bye. Salams.
Bye. Thank you, Nava.
Thank you
so
Thank
much.
you, everybody. Thank you, everyone.
Salams and goodbye.
Let's all stay connected.
Yes, let's stay connected.
Inayet would want us all to stay connected. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Benny,
all.
can
Yes,
we
we will.
complete listening to Inayet sing?
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. We'll keep the WhatsApp going and continue to be together. Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
Good night.
Bye.
Mujib, we got
يا أحمد يا حميد يا محمود يا قاسم يا عقيل يا فاتي يا خاتم يا محمد يا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم يا محمد يا محمد صلى الله عليه يا هشير يا ماهين يا دائين يا سراج يا رشيد يا منير يا بشير يا نذير يا هادي يا مهدي يا رسول يا نبي الله يا طه يا ياسين يا مزمل يا مدثر يا محمد يا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم يا محمد يا محمد صلى الله عليه يا ناصير يا منصور يا قايم يا حفيظ الله يا شهيد يا عادل يا حكيم يا نور يا شفيع يا خليل يا قليم يا حبيب يا مصطفى Ya Murtada, Ya Mujtaba, Ya Mukhtar, Ya Huja, Ya Burhan, Ya Abtar, Ya Mumin, Ya Mutti, Ya Muzakkir, Ya Wa'is, Ya Hamid, Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad, Sallallahu Alaihi
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
We're complete.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm complete.
Thank